Greetings and welcome to this electronic class of legal translation. This is a class that I normally give as a supplementary lesson. It's not a lesson that is in the core of legal translation, but because oftentimes students ask about how to translate the supply card, and I give them an electronic lesson. Okay, so what is the supply card? As it says here in Kurdish, بليطة خورني والبطاقة تموينية in Arabic. The reason why we, in the past and still to this day, we have the supply card, or as we've said in the previous slide, Plete Ohin Khorne, is that back in the days, Iraq was suffering from political issues, and it was under pressure from major countries like America, the UK, other great countries. So the UN, I could be wrong, but I think it was the UN which placed Iraq in a very difficult situation, and Iraq was sanctioned for, I'm not sure exactly how many years, but it was a very long period. So when a country is sanctioned, you cannot trade with that country. There is no trade. You cannot trade as in supplying the country with foods, with lucratives, with anything by which the people of that country can live. So as a consequence, there was no food in Iraq. People were starving. People were hungry. They could not find food. So instead of relying on agriculture, Iraq made something of a trade. Essentially, it was trading oil with food. It was something like that. I'm not sure. I have to check my information on that. But yes, I think it was food traded with oil. Iraq would give oil. Other countries, particularly the UN, the United Nations, would give food to Iraq in return. Okay, so what happened, although there is some food, but it wasn't too much. Remember, Iraqi population back then, I think it was around 32 million people. To this day, the population says it's 32, but I'm pretty sure that that number is outdated, and new statistics have to be conducted in order to see the increase in the number of citizens and the population of Iraq. So food rationing is when there isn't enough food for everyone, so the country or the government decides to plan something which will allow the distribution of the available food equally to everyone. So they created agents, wakil, they created agents, and citizens received cards, and hence you have the supply card. With citizens receiving cards, this sort of distribution was based on the family members, how many family members you have, and per the family members, the number of family members, you would get food. Yeah, you would essentially get the lucratives. You would get food. Food was, as you know, I'm pretty sure a lot of you are still familiar with what's happening in Iraq, and some of you still receive food from supply centers. Food was divided between flour, essentials, basically flour, and essential foods like oil, like rice, tea, I assume, sugar. I think there was also milk. Sometimes milk was also supplied to the citizens. So these were the things, the foods, the items, the commodities that were distributed in those supply centers. Okay, so let's carry on to the next slide. As you can see here, the vocabularies that are used in this document. One of the things about this document is that you see here it's bilingual, meaning it has two languages. There is Kurdish, although it's slightly not too clear because this was downloaded from the internet, but it's still readable. You can read it. The vocabularies that are used in this supply card, which is the in Surani is پسوله دابش کردنی خوراک, but in Bahdini it's karta ahin khwarne. In Arabic is bitaqa tamwiniya. You know this. So the vocabulary is used. The ministry that was involved in the distribution of the commodities and the food was the Ministry of Trade, Wazarati Bazargani, or Wazarat Tijara. Okay, it's Ministry of Trade. This whole card is in English is translated into supply card. Okay, so bitaqa tamwiniya or Peletohin Khorne is translated to supply card. This phrase right here, this name of head of family is Ism Rabbul Usra or Nawi Saruki Khizan. This phrase was also available on another document. I think it was the information card, which is it's right here in front of me. Let me just check what it is in Arabic. It's Karta Pezanina, I think, in Kurdish. Bitaqat al-Ma'lumat. This was also mentioned on that document. A couple of students translated it to family lord. That's not correct, by the way. You just simply translate it to family or head of family. Okay, head of family, meaning either the father if the father is alive, or the mother if the mother is alive, or maybe the brother, the biggest brother, in case the father and the mother are deceased, no longer alive. Okay, so this is name of head of family, and this is number. You know, it's pretty simple. It's number. Here you write supply card. Okay, this is the name of the governorate, whether it's Suleymania, Duhok, Baghdad, and so on. This is number of family members. Jumare Kasani Khazan. Number of family members. Jumare Garak, which is number of neighbor or neighborhood. I'm sorry, there was a mistake. Number of neighborhood, not neighbor. Neighbor is the person who lives next to you. Neighborhood is the place where you live. Okay, it's the block, the terrace. So there's a mistake here. It's the number of neighborhood. I'll correct this mistake and I'll put it on Moodle. Next is رقم المحل. Sorry, جماري colon رقم الزقاق. In English is number of alley, just like the name of Ali. You say alley in English. So number of alley means جماري colon. Next one is جماري خاني رقم الدار. It's number of house. The difference between house and home, they could be used interchangeably, they could be synonymous, but house is the physical object, the structure, okay, the cement, the blocks, the cinder blocks, and so on. Home is the concept, all right? Concept. You know the statement, home is where the heart is, because it's talking about the concept. You could be going to college, let's say, and you could consider college as your home because it's the concept. It's inside of your head. You think of it as your home. But other people, the house, the structure, yeah, is considered as the home. So in this case, you translate this Jumare Khani to number of house, because house, as we said, is the structure. Jumara unawi bin kay psulay khurak raqam ism Markaz al-Tamwini is number and name of supply center. You know, Markaz is center, supply is Tamween. Okay. Funny enough, there are stark differences between the Kurdish version and the Arabic version, but we stick to the Arabic version in terms of authenticity of what Ministry of Trade meant when they were adding these sorts of information. The Kurdish is just a translation so to make the work of civil servants who are working in the Ministry of Trade in Iraqi Kurdistan easy. Okay? All right. So, number and name of supply center. It's the center itself, the place, by the way. Next is رقم واسم وكيل الغذائية جمارة ونوع بريكاري خوراك. I've seen many translators translate wakil or بريكار to agent. Alright, that's acceptable. So I accept the word agent to be used in this case. So you can say number and name of food agent. And there is also جمارة ونوع بريكاري R. Yeah? Or, you know what or is? The flour, which you make bread from. Yeah, you make bread from from flour. Okay, so number and name of flour agent. رقم واسم وكيل الطحين. We just said this right now, and then names of family members right here. أسماء أفراد الأسرة ناوي كساني خزان. So names of family members. At the bottom of the page, at the bottom of this card, there is Khatam Markaz Tamwini. It doesn't have any Kurdish writing, by the way. So maybe I'll not, in case I was to put this on the exam, on the test, I'll not add the bottom of the page since it doesn't have Kurdish in it. But in case you encounter someone in the future, you want to work as a legal translator, and someone brings this supply card to you and you want to translate it fully, the bottom of the page says stamp of supply center. Okay, stamp of supply center. All right, what else do we have afterwards? So this one, which I've showed you here, is the older version. There is actually a newer version, but I think because, you know, as I've said in the class, that after 2003, Iraq is trying to reform a lot of its legal documents. The supply card is being reformed, but unfortunately, to this date, we don't have the Kurdish version. It's only in Arabic, but Kurdistan region is catching up to it. Kurdistan region is also adopting the new version of the supply card, okay? Or I'd rather call it food rationing card, not supply card. But hey, you know, people or translators are used to supply card terminology, so we stick to it. Finally, there is nothing else for me to say. Thank you very much for paying attention, and hopefully we'll discuss more in the class, and if you had any questions, you can ask me later. Thank you very much and have a very good day.